Hi, this is Sergeant Beast Larson. I was contacted about a month ago from Timothy Amdahl, who wrote a book called Broken Silence, badge 2717. He's retired from Illinois Department of Corrections. He contacted me, saw some of my videos, information on YouTube and Facebook. We talked a little bit, and he said, hey, I'd like to send a book to you to read and review it for me and talk about it, see what you think. I read this whole book, 250 pages, in 3 settings. And that's busy with kids and family and work. I couldn't put it down. It's incredible. The only book I've read in the last 10 years has been the Bible. So, tough shoes to fill, and he filled it. Not comparing, but this is an awesome book. Broken Silence, badge 2717. He has a career in the military, retired, got into corrections as I did, a little bit of older age, not in the early 20s. So as a mature former military man, he approached it a little bit differently. But I've got a couple notes I want to highlight. He goes in detail about the selection process, being hired, and the academy. His experience in academy seemed identical to what I went through in Georgia Department of Corrections. Is incredible. Consistency from state to state. What's the 3 words most important to us in corrections? Firm, fair, and consistent. It's nice to know the training is consistent. Because reading this book was almost like he knew my life as well as his too. One of my favorite parts, he talks about the hot pot, how he found it was rewired, miswiring, and he wrote him a ticket or disciplinary report. And going through that process, how it went up the chain of command and got reviewed, the results from that was not what he anticipated as a young officer. Well, that too happened to me and everybody else that I know in corrections. You come out, you start writing a lot of citations, disciplinary reports, tickets for things. You're writing inmates up. You write them up, and eventually you get called in one day to the captain and major's office like he and I did. You're writing too much. You need to solve problems in another way. Well, throughout his entire career, even up to the last month and the last week, he was still writing many tickets because he was consistent through his whole career. And those 3 words are critical. You cannot let go of them until you retire and you're done. However, they apply in our daily life as well. As being husbands, wives, parents, you've got to be firm, fair, and consistent with everybody in your life. He points this out incredibly. Talks about a lot of things, a good part of this, the beginning of it, for new officers, what he experienced his first day, his first week, his first month. Explains different types of dorms, explains the chow hall, he explains detail in great extent, and it's incredible. And the perception of newer officers thinking, I'm doing this and doing that by policy, it's right, it's gotta be. He learned the same way that I do, and I talk with my hands. He learned what we all have learned. We didn't know quite the bigger picture. And he explains this bigger picture to the newer officers, what I had to be told myself. The greater good, what's best for that prison, what's best for the jail, that kind of environment. Sometimes the ticket is best, sometimes working them on a detail is best. He goes in and explains that very, very professionally and tactfully, without insulting anybody, nothing negative. He just brings the facts out the way that they are. And working in a prison, you hear that word facts all the time. He's explaining this factually, consistently through the whole book. There's that word again. Firm and fair. He lived his career with Illinois Department of Corrections. He left the same way he came in, the same man. Molded, developed, avoided any corruption. Some of the things he saw, he outlined in the book. Avoided everything the way that most of us in this career do. We avoid the bad, the corruption part. He talks about acronyms, he explains words, gangs, names. At one point, one of the names they called him Ticketron for writing tickets. He was called RoboCop. He was nicknamed Miles. I'm not going to tell you why. Read the book and find out. Find out why he got those 3 nicknames. They're incredible. You've got to read and to see this. He talks about cell searches, how to systematically do them, even though you get taught or they're going to teach you. The way he outlines it is as a senior person right next to you, politely walking you through this to keep you safe and thorough. And he talks about how to remain safe while you're doing cell searches. The way he explains his intelligence and common sense combined just brings this life out to us. I'm done with that work. Unfortunately, if I was still in, I would read this book every year just to polish and brush up on my skills and my knowledge. He talks a little bit about the new guy treatment from the older COs, how you'll get treated. It's not hazing, it's not big bad stuff, but the older guys do kind of blow off the new people a little bit. He explains, how to interpret that, how to handle that, how to move on from that, how to grow from that, how to build your own character from the characters of the older COs. Here's another great part besides the hot pot, Chicken Day. He talks about Chicken Day. We did this at Hays State Prison in Georgia all the time. I was a CERT member, and when I wasn't, I was a supervisor in a behavior unit. On Chicken Day, you're always pulling people over, stopping them, hands on the fence, patting them down, searching them for contraband. And he talks about a man with a fake leg. I'm not finishing that. You got to read it. It's incredible how his Chicken Day is exactly the same in Illinois as it was in Georgia. You got to laugh. Chicken Day is an incredible experience in the prison. He talks about what happened to Great Escape in 2013 at the prison he was at. What he did, his assignment, what everybody did to get through that. It's remarkable, that experience. Then he talks about different details that you'll experience, you'll see coming to your dorm, your housing units, or if you get enough seniority and get the privilege to work a detail, he talks about details, about being selected, the importance, and how to manage the inmates on your detail. It's very thorough. He writes this with the knowledge I've experienced like a warden. It's very incredible, this story that he's told. To conclude this remarkable book, he talks firm, fair, and consistent. I've said this probably 4 times already. He mentions it many times, but when you get through this book, there's no doubt in my mind and in his mind, reading this, you will become firm, fair, and consistent. You will be that honest officer with the utmost integrity. And that's how you go in wanting to be. This book will help maintain that through your whole career. Very beneficial to the new, to the brand new, to the wannabe correction officers. And it's great for those with experience too, because you can never stop learning, never stop learning, never stop growing and developing. And at each time you gain in rank or position, it's like a whole new chapter of your life. He outlines this. This book, once again, Amazon, you can find it $12 for the paperback or download on Kindle for $4.95. Broken Silence, badge 2717, Timothy Amdahl. You've got to read this book. You have got to read this. Best book I've read. Thanks, Timothy, for contacting me, for becoming a great friend. He's retired. He's living down at a undisclosed location on the beach, and he's enjoying life. I'll be at that point one day soon. Thanks again, Tim.